Start! Hello, and here we go. Higarashi today, folks, because I want to get this part done by the end of this month. Technically, I wanted to get it done by the end of December, but I keep getting distracted. Yay! Can you just hear the screams of the Higarashi? So adorable. Copy link. Now time to post. Where's Taryn? There you are. Paste. Okay, let's go to Insta because that should. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Oh, I want to make sure that's going into threads because it's not specifying it anymore. Jeez. Okay. We will add post. There we go. Next up, meta. Use photo. Paste. Since that seems to be where I'm getting the most followers. No, don't put on hers. I am not an affiliate yet. Jeez. Why is the link no longer available? That's okay, we can re-get it. Hello to my audience thus far. I'm just copy posting link on social media and then we'll get started on today's stream. Why? Because I have to in order to self-promote. Hey. Alright, that's all done. Yes, hello Padme. Welcome, welcome. Where did we leave off? Right there with Rika. Don't get involved with their deaths. Don't get involved with their deaths. I'll help you, Katie. Those two contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me. What about Shion? What'll happen to her? It might be dangerous to mention Shion's name, but I couldn't stop myself from asking. Rika saw through everything anyway. There was no way I was going to fool her or keep anything from her at this point. The younger of the sister cats? Meow meow. Yeah, the little sister cat. Rika-chan appeared to think upon this for a moment. It was hard for me to endure since this was the momentary silence. The big sister cat is angry. The little sister cat did something bad, so she's really mad. Big sister cat. That could only mean Mion. I recall being questioned by her yesterday. Katie, the big sister cat is not in a good mood at all. I think we should leave her alone for a while. Not in a good mood. Those words sent shivers through me. Mion was mad. She was mad that we entered the ritual storehouse. Let's stop having club for now, huh? What, why? I think we should leave her alone. Rika-chan ended her sentence with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. Hey, Keiichi Marabara! Don't disobey Rika-chan right now. She's the only one who said she'd help me right now. I'll leave things to her just as she said to. I mean, she even said that the cat should just keep meowing. I'll forget everything like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll forget everything about Takana-san and Tomataki-san. What I did that night. Uh-oh. Just then we heard a bell far away, marking the end of our lunch break. I, I guess we should go back to class. Keiichi, as if she noticed how miserable I was, about to leave everything to her and flee the scene, Rika-chan called out to stop me. If the misunderstanding dog comes to try and bite the cat, please tell me, okay? The misunderstanding dog? She put it in such a cute sounding way, but the true meaning behind those words was an eerie one. Who is the misunderstanding dog? My guess is Oishi. The dog that bit the mayor. I don't know why it did that. It was gonna bite anyone. It would have been the trickster cat first. The flow of blood in my body felt like it completely stopped for a moment. Rikichan had admitted it. The sacrifices of the terrible calamity. She admitted that they were just to happen again. It would be Shion or I. This I didn't know was true about the girl standing before me. My suspicion gave way to fear and nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who could protect me? Or a stranger trying to capture and kill me for the sake of a horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true. I'm sorry. The cat is already scared. I I said something to scare it even more. I'm really sorry. Rika-chan bowed so quickly it looked like her head had been pulled downward. Still, she was right. I was cowering. I could distinctly feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika-chan reached her hand out to pat me on the head, I pulled away without thinking. Hmm, I'm upset. Rika-chan made a very sad face. I couldn't bring myself to put my head for her again. And then time passed. That day, Rika-chan said she wasn't feeling up for club activities that day, so she should we not bother. There's always vetoes when someone does not feel up to it. Ren and the others seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in a good mood. I remember Rika-chan's words, and quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. If I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday, though, her behavior was the same as it always was. Hmm, that's strange. Um, game? Oh, good. After dinner, without the energy to watch TV, I climbed into the futon of my bedroom and let my head be overtaken by gloomy thoughts. I told Rika-chan anything and everything. She had seemed trustworthy at the time, but had that really been the right choice? The more I look back on it, the less I understood what Rika-chan was saying. Not only did she know about Takano-san and Tomitake-san's deaths, but she spoke of them as if she were a concerned party. After all this time in my futon, I began to tremble fiercely. Had I been lured in by Rika-chan's sweet smile and told her things I shouldn't have? I should have continued to feign ignorance. I shouldn't have shown her such a weak side of me. My emotions are a mix of regret and fear, and that color the darkness of the night with an additional layer of terror. Suddenly a knock. I might have yelled. That's how surprised I was. Keiichi! I've been calling your name for a while. You have a phone call. It's from Sonozaki-san. It was Dad. I reached out for the cordless phone through the gap in my door. Sonozaki-san? Which one? The older or the younger? I don't know. Ask her yourself. I took the receiver and buried myself into the futon again. Hello? Mion? Or is it Shion? It's me, Shion. Good evening. I practically jumped out of bed. It was Shion, who I hoped was so desperately would call me back last night, after I made an ass of myself. Shion, sorry about last night. I got all riled up. I heard what sounded like a deep sigh on the other line. You and me are in the same position, aren't we? I shouldn't have blamed you for everything like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, so please cheer up. I called you because I'm in a better mood. If you're sorry, then I'll forgive you, so please stop apologizing. Shion's tone still sounded a little angry, but for the moment she said she'd forgive me. You're right, too. We're tied to the same fate. Making sure the others are all right is the only way to guarantee our safety. Yeah, I agree. We absolutely need to share whatever information we have, so we don't die, like Takano-san and Tomitake-san did. Well, I forced myself to swallow a solid drop of saliva. Then, let's continue from where we left off. You'll listen without getting angry this time, right? Yeah, I'll be fine. Firstly, it seems that sneaking out of the rituals into the ritual storehouse was more of a taboo than we thought. No shit. Takano-san and Tomitake-san's miserable ends. Terrible enough you could call them a warning. They're more than enough to make me believe that. The culprits killed those two, the ones responsible for solving the storehouse, and they'll come for us next. I know you want to deny that, but please accept it. It'll be too late to believe me after you've disappeared, okay? I got it. You can never be too careful, after all. I don't want to accept it either. To think that sneaking a peek at a museum of torture devices deserved a death, deserves death like that. I don't want to believe it. That's what a taboo is. For those who honor it, if one breaks the taboo, no matter how small or innocent their intentions were, they wouldn't be forgiven. Let's report anything we notice that seems strange. If we connect all the tiny dots that we have, then maybe we can find out who killed them, or maybe even the truth behind the incident of the previous years. We could find the key that'll resolve everything. Mm, you're right. I'll do that right about now. All I have to do was wait in fear, but Shion had already thought that far ahead. Given how trustworthy she felt, I became embarrassed over how passive I was being. Uh-oh. Then I'll start, since I suggested it. I feel like somebody's been watching me lately. That sounds really familiar. What? It might be my imagination, but I'll tell you anyway. I think it's just me, but if you feel like you're being watched too, Kate-chan, then maybe it's not just my imagination. Well, don't worry. At the very least, everything's been fine for me, I think. As I spoke with Shion, I thought back on today. I had no grounds to say that everything was fine. I see. Then I suppose it was my imagination. You be careful too, Kei-chan. Be especially careful when you're by yourself in public. I'm an Okonomiya, so I won't be alone very often, but you live in Himazawa. There'll be a lot of times you'll be alone. Please be extra careful. You're right. Yeah, I'll be careful. Also, about my sister, has she been acting strangely lately? Your sister? Oh, Mion. Right. What do you mean by acting strangely? Well, yesterday she came to me and asked me where I was on the night I went to Nakashi. What? She asked me that too. The day before yesterday, I think, Mion asked me. I see. I told her I wasn't there. What did you say? I did the same thing. I just dodged the question. Both of us gave a quiet sigh of relief. No, you didn't, Keiichi. I remember. Ever since the night of the festival, my sister has been acting strangely. We can't be too careful, so just be aware, okay? Mion was acting strangely. Aside from her asking me about the night of the Watanagashi, she seemed a little too out of the ordinary, at least from my point of view. Her twin sister, though, was she saying she was acting weird? Maybe it was just the slight change that a stranger like me wouldn't be able to notice. Got it. I'll start being careful. I always have Reno with me on my way back from school, so I shouldn't end up alone with Mion very often. Please be careful. If there's anything that's bothering you, you can tell me. Alright. Okay, then. Is there anything you want to tell me, Cave-chan? My turn. That's right, maybe I should report on Oishi-san asking me the same question at the library. Oh, that time you were too slow to escape? Yeah, Oishi asked me pretty forcefully. Whether I was with Takano-san or Takano-san last night, whether I'd seen you. Oishi-san seems to have seen the four of us together. From the police's point of view, that would make us the last people who had to see them. I suppose given that, it's only natural they'd be interested in us. I evaded the questions too, but that might have just made them more interested. There's no way I could have tricked that sly old fox, Oishi-san. My troubled countenance would only make him even more certain. Hey, Shion, since they're the police, shouldn't we tell them? I mean, considering our situation, I think having them on our side would be a good thing. Shion didn't answer right away. For a few moments, all I could hear was her breathing as if she thought about it. Now that I think of it, Oishi-san said there was something possibly shady about Neon. At least I think that's what he said. Yeah, he definitely did. As I explained yesterday, the Sonozaki family holds a lot of influence over in Hinamizawa. Oishi's under the impression that the whole village, with the Sonozaki family at the center of it all, is responsible for the recurrent freak deaths. The whole village is behind them, with the Sonozaki family being at the center. Please don't get angry like you did yesterday, just listen. I hammered that home before I got too upset. During the Hinamizawa Dam Wars, the priest who everyone was anticipating lead the anti-dam movement acted as though he were unrelated. So the Sonozaki main house rose up to take charge. My sister told you all about the battles that happened, right? Yeah. All of Hinozawa got together and fought as one. They held protests, brought it to court, even appeared on TV. In reality, there were many things that happened that was far more extreme. Under the surface, the Sonozaki main house was doing all sorts of illegal things to oppose it. They were acting illegally? For example, they would sneak into the construction site in the middle of the night, steal equipment, break it, put sugar cubes in the gasoline tanks for the construction vehicles. Sugar in their gasoline tanks? Why would they even? You don't know? It's practically representative of guerrilla tactics. It was used by the underground organizations in France in World War II, for one. When you put sugar in, the engine gets burnt out and breaks down. That's pretty bad, though, isn't it? It was destruction of property, nothing less. When they beefed up the guards at the construction facility, the family turned to attacking important construction personnel who worked there. Yikes. The government officials who had given permission for construction, for example, received all kinds of threats. Not just from people from the prefectural office either. Apparently, this reached as far as the Ministry of Construction. That sounds pretty bad. As far as I've heard, they even kidnapped a child once. Yikes. Kidnapped? Yes. The child of an important person in the Ministry of Construction, who was in charge of the Hinozawa Dam, got spirited away. Then one day, all of a sudden, he was rescued by the Takasudo Mountains, which were upstream from Hinozawa. Apparently, there was never any criminal accusations, but the people whispered it had been a threat to stop the dam construction from happening. Besides that, there are stories of so many different threats that I couldn't possibly list them all. Wow, that is sort of bad, isn't it? Right in the middle of the whole thing, the first incident happened that when dismemberment of the construction manager occurred, people whispered that the Sonozaki family had bought out the principal offender, but of course he fled and they still haven't found him. When she put it that way, the Sonozaki family definitely seemed suspicious. Oishi-san even seemed to think that the criminal was erased so he wouldn't talk, which is pretty reasonable of him. It's even enough to make me think that the Sonozaki main house, is doing some really shady things behind the scenes, even though I'm related to them. Are you telling me to believe that? That Sonozaki main house where Mion lives has done all those bad things? You're telling me to believe it? Even if you don't, K-chan, the villagers do. While they opposed the dam in an upright and lawful way, the Sonozaki house did the dirty work for them. Everyone believes that they fought at the front, so they take the brunt of the criticism. So they're respected as sort of heroes of darkness. I think I only really know one part of it. For example, the really bad stuff, like the kidnapping and I think even only a handful of people know about it, including Grandma. The Sonozaki family is secretive, after all. Secretive, huh? A family so unforthcoming that even Shion, who is related to them, doesn't know everything about them. The Sonozaki family. Unlike Shion, her older twin Mion was deeply involved with everything, and that was not a fun thought to entertain. My sister, though young, she was the one who acted as the center of the illegal resistance movement. Mion was. Wait, what do you mean? Well, her dad is a big shot Yakuza. Wow. Even when she was little, my sister managed to subjugate a bunch of young street rats. Then she played all the sorts of tricks on them and generally got in their way. Mion did that. Now she's pretty laid back, but it might be hard to imagine. They put her in charge of everything from proper damage to threats, even acts of violence. Though since she was a kid, they could get her to release pretty easily. She learned that her age could be used as a weapon. It may be indiscreet, but I couldn't help but chuckle dryly. She may have been young, but she was certainly still Mion. Even back then, she'd already been known for her craftiness. It's nothing to laugh about. Please take this seriously. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Shion had gotten pretty angry at me. Well, her delinquencies soon got her in a position of authority in the Sonozaki main house. Wait, there we go. It's not unthinkable that Oishi-san suspects them for dismemberment incident and the later ones too. For a few moments, I was dumbstruck at the tales of Mion's past. None of them matched the image I had of her. Really? Okay. A younger Mion dirtying her hands on all sorts of crimes, giving the damn construction project hell. As the successor to the Sonozaki main family, was always right at the center of the vortex of strange incidents occurring year after year. Was that really the Mion I know? Maybe the one I know isn't the real Mion. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't bring myself to accept those images of Mion I was hearing from another person. Well, back to the main subject. I just want to tell you that my sister is someone who's worth being cautious of. Please be careful. I don't want to understand. Mion was a fantastic friend. She would never do something to back me into a corner like that. She did ask me some pretty harshly about the night of the festival, but even that, it wasn't like she said it in a mean way or anything. Alright, I'll make sure to be careful. We're sisters related by blood, but within Sonazaki's family, we're basically different class. I want you to recognize how distant they are from me. Please. The more Shion tells me about Mion, the less I understand who Mion is. The Mion I know wasn't a dangerous person. She joked around, smiled a lot, and was full of passion. Now that I realized I held such a view towards her, Shion was telling me to change it. To be careful around the best friend ever. To doubt her. The idea was sad and painful. Now about Oroishi, if you think it's a good idea, then we should give him the information he needs. I think getting police on our side would work in our favor. You thought so too, Shion. It's just, at the moment, like I explained, the police have their eyes on the Sonozaki family already. Oishi in particular believes that they're the masterminds behind the serial incidents. That includes me, of course. So I don't really want much to do with Oishi. I see. If Oishi found out the Sonozaki family strife-filled history, then he probably wouldn't be too happy with Shion either. At last I understand Mion's instinctive dislike for Oishi-san. It's probably out in the open at this point, but I'm trying not to give my name to him. If you agree to that, I don't think there's a problem with you telling me anything. I got it. I won't mention your name. The police's investigative ability should be quite a reliable weapon for us right now. Oishi-san tells you anything interesting, let me know as well. Of course, we'll share information and investigate together. Who killed Takano-san and Toмотaki-san? Who was after us? Until we know, we need to defend ourselves. Anything else? Besides what Oishi told you, I mean, if anything happened, no matter how minor, please tell me. Aside from a discussion with Oishi-san, oh, should I tell her that I revealed everything to Rika-chan? Rika-chan was acting like she knew something I didn't. She told me to leave it to her, but what? Oh, that's right. When I was talking to her, I mentioned Shion's name too. Was that a mistake? I felt like Shion would get angry. Nothing else, Kei-chan? I had remained quiet for a little while, so Shion encouraged me to speak, unable to bear the silence. As I struggled with what to say, Shion addressed me instead. Doesn't sound like that, like it, so I can ask you something? I just heard this myself. Is it true that Old Man Kimiyoshi went missing? Old Man Kimiyoshi? My gut told me that was the name of the mayor. You mean the mayor? Wait, Shion, you haven't heard? I don't know anything. I just overheard my dad talking about it over the phone again. I realized I shouldn't have said that. Hearing Himisawa, the things that happened around this time, when Oishiro-sama's curse would occur, would all be covered up. Yeah. Actually, last night after meeting, he didn't come home, so all Himisawa was confused. They searched all through the village, but if they found him, I haven't heard of him. The police should be searching for him as well. Why didn't you tell us something important right away? She shouted angrily, bringing all her emotion to bear. Sorry, I thought you already knew. I didn't want to hide it or anything. The receiver went silent. Did Shion get mad and hang up again? Hey Shion, hello? Kei-chan, what should I do? Shion's tiny, confused voice sounded like it belonged to a different person than the one that he was yelling a few seconds ago. What's wrong? Please tell me. We're not keeping secrets from each other, right? Shion hesitated for a long while, but then confessed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hide it. It was just that, the conversation turned around and we're on the same side, right? I won't get mad if you tell me honestly. Shion was still hesitated for a few moments. Then in a resigned voice, she continued. I, old man Kiyoshi, I told him everything. Shion seemed like I would yell at her at that point, right after she said that, so I heard her catching her breath. Contrary to what she thought, I was a little relieved. Shion had done the same thing I had when I confessed everything to Rika-chan. So, in as gentle as a voice I could, so as to not set her off, again, I responded, Old man Kimiyoshi, he's someone you feel comfortable confiding in, Shion. Yes, he would. When I was little, he was really nice to me. Shion felt the same pain as the rest of us from the mayor's disappearance. She had a different kind of strength from Neon, and she continued, her voice sounded truly sad and pained. All I did was play tricks on him, but he would always just smile. He listened to everything I had to say. He was such a kind person. Calm down, Shion. It's not like he's dead, right? Don't lose heart so easily. Shion didn't answer. Even as I said it myself, I didn't think we'd ever find the missing mayor again. We probably wouldn't even figure out if he was alive or dead or anything. Shion must have been thinking the same thing. That night, I told the mayor that we snuck into the ritual warehouse. Also, that someone saw us and we were out to get us. Does the mayor know how absurdly Takano-san and Tomotaki-san died? Yes, he knew about it. I told him they died by Oshiro-sama's curse and that I could make a sacrifice to calm his anger. I just said that straight out. Right. What then? Old man Kimiyoshi didn't get angry. He smiled and told me if I was properly sorry about there's no way I'd be demoned away. He was really smiling. He told me to leave it to him. Wait, why does that sound like Rika? Uh, until she stopped sobbing, I was unable to get any words for her. I couldn't imagine what kind of person the mayor was, nor what Shion's relationship with him was like. Words of comfort, however, mean so much to us when we're about to be crushed by anxiety. Today, Rika-chan taught me that too. If someone gave me such a sense of security were to disappear, then I could guess what kind of shock Shion was in. It's my fault, because I revealed everything. Stop it, Shion. It's not your fault. No, it's my fault. I told him everything. Old man Kiyoshi found out about everything, so he has been killed. It was right after I told him, after all. He disappeared the same night I confessed. Told me everything was going to be all right. Wait a minute. That doesn't sound right. He was in a meeting in the evening. He got out of the meeting, left the meeting hall, and then supposedly didn't come home. Why is Shion saying that he disappeared the same night that she confessed to him? When did she do the actual confessing? Because if she's saying night, that's a physical impossibility, or someone is at fault here. He found out, so he became involved. I should never have told him. All this should have been our fault. Only the four of us. It wasn't something I should have told someone else. He got killed because I told him. He got killed because he knew. He got killed because I revealed it. Hey, stop. They're doing that, then they would have obviously killed you before killing the mayor. The order is all wrong. You and I should have been killed first. Why the hell would someone else get killed first? No, it's in order. They must have been planning to kill us last of all. Oh, well, what? They're not killing the first person who came to mind. They're killing by those who were close to. And then after they cause us so much pain, they'll kill us. That must be what they're doing. I said calm down. Shion, you're in shock. You're panicking. The mayor's disappearance has nothing to do with you. It's unconnected. It's not related to Takano-san. It's not and Tamakaki-san dying at all either. My words came out as a scream, as if I were shouting them at myself. No, it's connected. It has to be. I told him he was killed. He got killed because I knew. I confessed to him. He got killed. She repeated the same thing as though she were in delirium. Despite my trying to console the crazed Shion, for some reason the shadow at my feet began to freeze. Wait, what? From that shadow, a cold arm reached out, so cold it seemed like it would freeze even my heart just by touching me, and grabbed my ankle. The heat generated by my body, the arm absorbed it. It was a horrible chill, a freezing cold, numbingly frigid. It was inviolable chill of fear. Though I sympathized with Shion, I had been naive thinking it was something only she had to worry about. In my head, Shion's eerie words repeated again and again. He was killed because I told him. He was killed because he found out. I confessed everything. So he was killed. Those words echoed through my head like a monotone mantra. And finally, those repetitions took on meaning. The quiet shaking that had already overtaken me turned to a violent shiver that shot up my spine. Rika-chan! It's Rika-chan! What? What did you say just now? Well, the truth is, I told her about it. I told Rika-chan today. Rika-chan? You mean Rika-chama? The one from the Furude shrine? Yes, Rika-chan. I felt so scared and uneasy that I did it. I told Rika-chan. What did she say? The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. That's what Rika-chan said. Then she smiled. She smiled just like the missing mayor had when he encouraged Shion. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm so sorry, Shion. I'm worried about Rika-chan. Alright, if you're that concerned, then don't worry about me. Please go find out whether she's safe. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll call you tomorrow at the same time. When I do, you'll know I'm still alright. I got it. I'll be waiting. Okay, bye. Sorry, bye-bye. I'm hanging up now. Put down the receiver without waiting for Shion to say goodbye. The danger to Shion and myself was secondary at this point. My sixth sense was blaring alarms in my head. I don't like this feeling. It's a really bad feeling. It's definitely bad. Damn it, please be safe, Rika-chan. Yay, scene transition. You receive more tips from Scrapbook 8, and so on. Let's see the tips. Scrapbook 8, let's go. Is it going to be more torture writing? The three families in modern times. As previously described, the Three Families Council today is a mere shell of democracy. In reality, it is a dictatorship run by the Sonozaki family. Both the Kamiyoshi and Heredity families are far from their former glory, and it doesn't seem at all like they've maintained the ancient traditions. Only the Sonozaki family has retained their glory from the past, has inherited many colorful traditions from an age known as Onigafushi village. Even the most recent variable examples of Watanagashi occurred at the end of the Meiji area, which seems to have been under the orders of the Sonozaki family. Refer to the three families genealogical tree from the late Meiji. After the start of the Meiji era, the Sonozaki family wanted to push development of Hinamizawa village, so they took a strong role in leadership. During the Dam Wars a few years ago, the Komiyoshi family served as the chair of the opposition alliance. But that was in name only. In actuality, the Sonozaki family reigned in as leaders behind the scenes. People whispered that perhaps the Komiyoshi family dictated the actions of the opposition that could be publicized, and the Sonozaki family enacted those who could not. Even in Himezawa, they whispered that the multitude of unsettling incidents reported during the dam protests, such as kidnapping of the famous head of ministry construction son, had been carried out by the Sonozakis. Additionally, they say perhaps the Sonozaki family secret maneuvering was responsible for the serial freak incidents that have continuously occurred in recent years as well. The serial freak death incidents are without a doubt the second coming of the traditional Watanagashi. They must be enacting Watanagashi on the day of the original Watanagashi, which has fallen to the level of an ordinary village festival, in order to remind the villagers of the holy laws of the Onigafuchi village. It's safe to assert that exploring the Sonozaki family is the fastest route for researching it today. If I can expose the contents of the Furude Shrine storehouse, I'll likely narrow down my research target to the Sonozaki family next. The Sonozaki house is strictly guarded by security cameras on the premises, but thankfully I've become acquainted with the sister Mion, the next heir, and Shion. I want this to be a breakthrough I can connect my line of research. Who's making scrapbooks? Takano, supposedly, considering she had the scrapbook with her in the torture shed. Their punishment isn't over. That's not a cheery title. Not in the least. No, don't worry about it. You see, when you order udon here, for some reason it ends up on the annual invoice for our gas contracts. So don't be shy and have another drink. The man, red-faced, waved his hand to say that he had enough and disappeared into the brilliant neon lights in front of the station. Kuma-chan, you should be taking notes. The most modest people here are the ones who live longest. Was that true? Well, I don't know anything about that. Whether or not it's true, I think there's a meaning in hearing something that sounds so plausible. Would it be something that would be a motive to go for the mayor? Too much on, here's what I always say. The motive only has to be enough for the person in question. You need to think about how different people value different things. Hey, bartender, give me another mug. Though we have been suppressing the information, Tomotaki and Takano's deaths were already known throughout Hinamizawa. All the rumors pointed to them having incurred the wrath of Oshiro-sama for setting foot in the Forbidden Temple, the storehouse for ritual implements. See Torture Shed for further details. According to the rumors, there were two other people who went in there with them. Shion Sonozaki and Katie Marubara. Most people whispering in the shadows that those two will be cursed by Oshiro-sama as well. Apparently, however, the responsibility didn't fall solely on the four trespassers' shoulders. Until last year, it was locked up tight, but this year it's been changed to a simpler lock. Hadn't that been what allowed the thieves to enter so easily? Those were the rumors going around. Ever seen it, Kuma-chan? I remember well I had to go there for something quite a while back. Sorry, I don't really remember. It was locked up so tight it was scary. There were these really heavy bars holding it shut. It was sealed up as good as a bank vault. This year it was a very simple, cheap padlock. The lone girl protecting the shrine, Rika Furude, disliked the heavy locks and consulted with the mayor, who had replaced it with a simpler lock. So then Mayor and Rika Furude share the crime? So then after the mayor, would Rika Furude be in the danger next? There's a decent possibility. Kuma-chan, I want you to contact all the cars we have in Inumazawa. Tell them to stick near the Furude shrine. Got it! That's obviously the cops. Save? Okay, where do I want to put this save? Right here. End of chapter 9. After hanging up on Shion, I researched more for Morika Chan's phone number on my school contact list. There it is. My fingers trembled with urgency. I failed multiple times to put in the simple 5-digit number. Kichi, are you calling someone at this hour? It's late. It's being rude to the other person. That doesn't matter right now. I shuddered angrily at my mother, listening to the dial tone. Pick up, come on, please pick up. Bling. The time was 11 p.m. Geez, that's usually when I go to sleep. It certainly wasn't early. It's essentially the middle of the night. Had Rika-chan already gone to bed? Her phone wouldn't be ringing constantly, though, so would she get up back up for me? Rika-chan didn't pick up. She didn't pick up. She didn't pick up. Maybe she happened to miss it. Maybe her bed was just too far away from the phone. The sound of the phone ringing gets clearer and clearer the longer you go on to sleeping. Then the bathroom. Yeah, she must be taking a bath. That's the case, even if she heard the phone, she wouldn't be able to pick up. It's a little late to be taking a bath, but it would be possible she'd normally take baths right before going to bed. I'll wait 30 minutes and try again. Dude, if it were me, I would have literally picked up, screamed at you, and then went back to sleep. Even as I was thinking that, I called her house over and over. I kept calling over and over again. I kept calling her, but she didn't pick up even once. Well, duh, she was sleeping, obviously. I think she kept trying. I kept trying for another 30 minutes, yet she wasn't picking up. If it's anything after midnight, I refuse to pick up my phone. Were my phone calls so persistent she had gotten scared of picking up the receiver? No, that couldn't possibly be it. KT, are you losing your marbles? There's no point in doing this any longer. The best thing to do is to go there in person. Where was Rika-chan's house, though? Shit. I never asked her where she lived. Her residence was written on over there in the contact list, but it was an address with mostly numbers, so I couldn't tell where it is just by reading it. Isn't there a map or something there? Dude, you know where the shrine is. That's where she sleeps. Rika Furude. Her last name is Furude. It's been an odd last name, so it might be easy to find. Thinking I rummaged through the drawer of the phone book, but I only find things like takeout menus and phone numbers for public businesses. Shit, 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 shit. I tore through one after another out of the drawer. I didn't come up with any clues as where Rika-chan's house was. Calm down, Keiichi Mahabura. If you don't know, then just ask. Ask someone who does know. Oh, that's it. Rena's gotta know. I look up Rena's phone number to wake her up in the middle of the night. On the contact list, Rena Ryuga. There she was. Here we go. Hello? Really? Really? This is Ryuga. The voice sounds like a grumpy sounding man. There you go, Keiichi. There you go. It must have been Rena's father. Am I calling in the middle of the night? I need to be polite. I'm sorry for calling so late. This is Barbara. Is there any chance Rena's around? Rena's taking a bath. Oh, she's done. Raina, there's a friend of yours on the phone. Oh, right. Raina. Ryuga was her real name, wasn't it? I'd been so used to calling her Rena that hearing her real name caught me a little off guard. Hello? This is Rena. Ah, it's me, Katie. Sorry for calling so late. Huh? Katie-kun? What do you need at this time like this? Well, actually, I want to know where Rika's house was. Rena seemed a little appalled that I'd call her for something like that at this hour. Dude, I would also be appalled considering Rika's age. Then again, it's like, what, 1987 in the story? So maybe the norms are not quite to modern standards. Oh boy. Higarashi spoke her next word seriously, as if she caught on how urgent my need was. Oh, okay, sure. You know the assembly hall on the grounds for Ide Shrine? There's a two-story shack used for storage behind it. That's where she lives. I couldn't immediately visualize the place, but as long as I knew she lived on the shrine grounds, I'd just have to take a look around. Got it. Thanks. Sorry for calling so late. Apologize to your dad for me, would you? Okay, but Keiichi-kun, why do you want to know where Rika-chan lives? Rena asked in an unusually sharp, halting me before I could hang up the phone. Oh, good. Rena has some sense. I hesitated about whether to tell her. Like, yeah, I admit the four of the characters are friends, but you generally don't want to go visit a girl under legal age just willy nilly middle of the night, even if she's your friend. Like, yeah, Keiichi is a teenager, but still, that's a bit weird. He was killed because I told him, Keiichi-kun. You're still listening. Could you answer me? Why are you asking where Rika lives at a time like this? Rena's affected her usual tone, but beneath her words lay a certain tension, like she intuitively sensed something was going on. As she should! What will you do, Keiichi? If it's Rena, can I tell her? He was killed because he found out. I've revealed everything, so he was killed. Keiichi-kun! Rena is being serious. Please answer me. Rena asked one more time in a tone so forcefully I could imagine her ever using it normally. Dude, I would be doing that to you too. I was taken aback by her vigor. Yeah, no shit. Rena was Rika's friend too. She had the right to be concerned about Rika-chan disappearing. If I told Rena then, even if it was for a moment, I could have driven away my horrifying fears. Rena, well, I can't exactly tell you the why, but yes, Rena's tone was seriousness itself. Just from that tone, I could feel her saying, no matter what you say, Keiichi-kun, I believe in you. Because she's hopelessly in love with him. That subtle sense of security gave me courage to reveal the truth. I have a feeling that Rika-chan is in danger. You mean like a premonition? Or do you have some reason to believe she's in danger? I really didn't have time to go back and forth with Ren about this. Still, I think listening to her calm voice soothed my pointless impatience. I don't have much reason, but yet I still hesitated. I had told Rika-chan that we snuck into the ritual house. The mayor, whom she had confessed before, that had also disappeared. So it's possible that Rika-chan was also. I don't know how to explain it to Rena. While I was tongue-tied, Rena spoke up. Sorry for asking something so weird. I just thought about it. Isn't like you to be sure. Rena laughed a little and seemed a bit absent-minded. I wasn't exactly in the mood to laugh, so this time it was I was dumbfounded. Rena continued her cheerful yet purposeful voice. You're worried about a friend. I don't think I need a reason to go check. I don't think you need a reason to go check on them. Even if Riki-chan's asleep, you ended up waking her up. If that's why you did it, then none of us would get mad. Rena, thank you. Okay then, Keiichi, just one thing. You called Rika-chan's house, right? Then you couldn't get through. That's why you asked me where her house was. Why is Rena so damn sharp? Yeah, that's right. I must have called her over 10 minutes ago. So she could be sleeping and not have noticed? Rika-chan's house is really small, so she would definitely hear the phone ringing, even if she was asleep. Sadako-chan's there too, but there's no way neither of them would have noticed. Huh? Sadako, you mean she's living with Rika-chan? Yeah, you didn't know? Well, I can talk about that later. Anyway, if you called that much and no one answered, then something's definitely wrong. Brenda understood the situation. I wasn't normal far faster than I could ever imagine her to. It made her seem dependable. However, the fact that Rena has acknowledged this has also meant the best case possibility of it all, just by being the result of my own needless fear, went out the window. I'll go to Rika-chan's house right now. Will you come with me? I can show you the way. Sounds good. Let's meet up at the same place as usual. I'll be waiting for you. No, wait. I'll come get you to your house. You just wait there. I can tell your family you're coming with me to Rika-chan's house, okay? Will that be okay? Might lose time if you come here. Did you call Mi-chan too? She's really dependable at times like these. If you haven't, then I'll give her a call. My thoughts froze for a moment. Shion had just told me to be careful around Mion during our phone conversation a little while ago. If the Samazaki main house was somehow lurking behind the surface of the annual freak deaths, then the current heir to the family, Mion, would be uninvolved. So wouldn't that mean she wasn't uninvolved? What happened to this year's Takano-san and Tomonaki-san, and also to the mayor's disappearance? Okay, bye. I'll be right over. Wait for me. That's all Rena said before hurriedly hanging up the phone. Now's not the time to be doubting Mion. I need to make sure Rika-chan was safe. I got changed and grabbed my key to my bike. I figured things would go more smoothly if we met up in the place we usually do before school. Rena wouldn't need to come all the way to the house. My parents would probably objected if I told them I was leaving, so I creeped out without a word. The night was unusually warm and disagreeably humid, unlike my city where it's cold. She said that Rika-chan and Sadako-chan lived together, right? Uh, then it wasn't only Rika-chan. Sadako wasn't there either. Realizing what them living together really meant caused my thoughts to immediately take a turn for the worst. That can't be. Sadako is. She's got nothing to do with any of this. If there's a reason for Rika-chan to be disappeared, there shouldn't be one for Sadako. Oh, I can think of a few. Keiichi-kun? Reno was really fast. She approached me on her bike at an amazing speed. Her breath was ragged, painting a clear picture of how hurriedly she was being. Hey, Rena, let's get going. Keiichi-kun, I thought I should wait for you wait at your house. Rena's expression was all business. Was she mad? It came out of blue and I faltered for a moment. Well, I just figured it'd be faster to meet up here. Keiichi-kun, don't you get it? Rena shouted, clearly angry. I'd never seen Rena like this. I have, in the prior arc. Do, uh, do I get it? What's the problem? Rena seemed to notice she was scaring me, so I took a couple of deep breaths, then continued, as if to admonishing me. But her expression didn't soften at all. Keiichi-kun, The whole village is in uproar now that the elder disappeared, right? Yeah. Now you're telling me that Rika-chan and Sadako-chan aren't where they're supposed to be, right? Yeah. That about sums it up. Then you need to be more careful. Do you have any idea how dangerous it is standing out here in the middle of the night? Then you need to be more careful. Do you? Oh, right. I began to understand where Rena's anger was coming from. You told your family you'd be going to Rika-chan's house, didn't you? So that in the worst case scenario, if you and I were to disappear, people know when and where we did. Rena was perfectly level headed in this emergency situation. Ever since the night of Watanagashi, every night someone has died or disappeared. On the night itself, Takano and Tamataka-san met strange ends. On the next night, the elder vanished. Now on the next night after that, Rika-chan and Sadako-chan are nowhere to be found. I hadn't been thinking of anyone but myself, but that was enough to say that Kinozawa was a little weird at the moment. In fact, it seemed extremely strange. Rena had even anticipated my own disappearances and told me to tell my family where I was going. I was embarrassed by my own carelessness, and the need to be embarrassed made me afraid of the night. Sorry, I didn't tell them yet. Okay, then let's go tell them together. With Rena beside me, I wheeled back towards the house. The moon is unusually big and pale tonight. The moon seemed strangely high in the sky. A sky that was uselessly vast and cold. So, Canada, basically. So, no matter what, it would never seem to me like a dream. It's a cruel fact that it's already confronted me. On such a crazy night, Rena had been unimaginably dependable. Kinozawa's metamorphosis enough to make Rena caution me against carelessness was to me the most fearsome thing of all. The moon seemed strangely high in the sky. We met up with Mion on the way, and she, of course, was unsure whether to believe me about Rika-chan and Sadako-chan's disappearances. Kei-chan, are you serious? I'm going to get really mad if this is a joke. Mion was clearly displeased. If this were a joke, it wasn't funny. I understood how indiscreet my words were. Ever since the day before yesterday, someone had either died or vanished every night. Rika-chan and Sadako-chan disappearing after all that was something you could just say, even in jest. Mi-chan, if it really is a joke, don't get mad, smile. It'd be a joke after all. We need to go make sure it's not a joke or not. You're right. Sorry for getting upset. However indiscreet a joke it might have been, if we learned that our friends were safe, it would end up being nothing more than a funny story. Having been warned about Brenna, Leon gave a dry smile, but the tension felt she loosened up a bit. She mounted her bicycle as well. Our three bikes flashed down the pitch black road. There was some only illumination outside. Kei-chan, why did you decide to call and ask about Rika-chan's house at a time like this? Mion asked me the same thing that I had trouble explaining to Rena. Would it be weird to call it a premonition? I couldn't quite tell because it was dark, but I thought Mion smiled very ambiguously. I definitely understood she wasn't convinced, though, despite the darkness. Well, I had a bad dream while I was snoozing, and I couldn't get it out of my head. So, did Rika-chan get kidnapped in the dream? Well, it's more of a vague feeling of sorts. If Rika-chan had answered the phone, I would have called you and Rena after that. Lies smoothly bubbled out of my mouth, makeshift as though they were. I was lying because I thought telling them I was connected to Shion would be like silently admitting we'd stolen to the ritual house together that night. Mion didn't press me further. I don't know whether that convinced her, or maybe she figured something sure Rika-chan and Sadako-chan were safe would be faster than making an issue out of it. I felt relieved and immediately a little guilty. Mion hadn't really been acting any differently these last few days. I'm still trying to distance myself from her for some reason. It's only because of what I heard from Shion and Oishi-san that she was a successor to some kind of super extravagant gang family. No. I was just trying to force myself to forget. Don't do that, KT Mara. Wasn't it Mion who was the first to ask about the night in Watanagashi? In such a harsh tone at that? Have I already forgotten the terror I felt? At the time, Mion looked like someone different from the Mion I knew. When I think about it, that Mion, then Shion, and Oshi's description of Mion made a tiny bit more sense. That's it, isn't it? If it wasn't for her acting that day, then I wouldn't be feeling this way towards her. What on earth is going on with her back then? I was conveniently thinking only of everything she'd done after that, while disregarding the very first thing, the thing I should have been looking at most, wasn't it? Mion was pedaling her bicycle in front of me, her long hair fluttering in the wind. No matter how I looked at her back, it never gave me the answers to any of my questions. We went all the way to the stone steps leading to the shrine grounds. Oh, crap. Wait, why did that come up? Ah! Okay, fine. I will save here. There. That should make it go away. There we go. Went all the way up the stone steps leading to the shrine grounds. Of course, we weren't even going to haul our bikes up there, so we parked them beside the staircase instead. So this is the Furude Shrine. Everybody comes and goes as they please, as if it were a park. This place is actually a grand estate owned by the Furude family, so the entire shrine is private property. Really makes sense. Makes you feel the set. That it really makes sense. You feel the passage of time. 10 or 20 years ago, it would have looked exactly the same. Then wouldn't that mean that the Furude family is really old, with a history going back generations? Yeah, they're gone. That's odd. Rena said something very disquieting, so I ran over to her. What's wrong, Rena? Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, whatever. What's wrong, Rena? Rika-chan and Sadako-chan always leave their bikes here. See? They're gone. I looked around. Indeed, there were no other bicycles aside from the ones we were taken to get here. Could they have parked them somewhere else? Could they have brought them up the stairs? Those girls couldn't do that, Keiichi-kun. Just as she said, I can imagine Rika-chan and Sadako-chan lugging their bikes way up there. We hadn't even knocked on Rika-chan's door, but reality was starting to spark some ideas that weren't what you'd call good. Maybe they were just parked under some trees and we wouldn't notice them. I refuse to believe that not being able to find their bikes was proof that they disappeared. Let's go. There's only one way to be sure. Check their house. We all nodded and dashed up the stone steps. We passed through the red arch and came out onto the shrine ground, which was covered in neat gravel. It was so quiet here, as though the Watanagashi festival had never happened. So where's the house they live in? Over there. Come with me. Rena took the lead and sprinted off. Went towards the assembly hall behind the shrine and looped around behind it. In the darkness of the night, we found the small prefab two-story shack that looked like a warehouse. The lights are off. Are they sleeping? Let's knock. Brenda and Mion neared the shack, which didn't really look like a place people would live. They had such a beautiful shrine, so I figured they'd just live in an equally beautiful house. It was far from what I expected. Rika-chan! Sadako-chan! Are you there? Rena shouted up towards the second floor. Her voice was strained at first, but it steadily grew louder. No answer. In fact, there wasn't any sort of activity in the house at all. They might be sleeping. Let's wake them up. Mion banged on the shutters with both hands. The loud sounding echoed in our surroundings. They would have noticed this much noise. They should turn on a light in their room or fling open a window and yell, "What time do you think it is?" That, however, was not happening. There was absolutely no response. Mion stopped slamming her fist on the shutter. A silent Sudden silence fell over us. The silence aroused terrible thoughts in our head, in us. I could feel the blood draining from my face. It's locked. I wonder if we could get in somehow. Brenda showed no signs of stopping. Didn't look like she would admit they were there until we were inside and saw for ourselves. That refusal to give in gave me strength. The second story window wouldn't be locked. I'll give them a try. Kei-chan, a ladder. Mion brought over a ladder that was standing against the house. The footing was a little unstable for me climbing it, but Mion held the ladder firmly in place for me. Again, Mion is being helpful, considerate, and above all else, an amazing friend, and not even bad-mouthing her sister. Shion, on the other hand, has done almost none of those things. Like, she did show some consideration earlier on in the story, but yeah. My inexperience with them exposed, I climbed up one step at a time and tried to open each window on the second floor. Lee-chan, I'm gonna go check the main house just to be sure, okay? I'll be right back. Brenna darted away. What, a main house? It's the Furudei family's actual house. After her parents passed away, I think it's been left like that. Oh, right. Rika-chan's parents, they passed away, huh? At this point, I recalled something else. Wasn't Sadako living here too? Sadako's also an orphan. Her parents fell from the cliff because of Oshiro-sama's curse. Then her older brother, Satoshi-kun, he disappeared. Satoshi, I've heard that name before. I remember it. He was the one who disappeared last year because of the curse. Ever since then, Sadako and Rika-chan have been living in the shack. Neither of them have any family, but they're at least there together. They help each other out. Brenda said the main house, didn't she? Wouldn't it be easier to live there? The curtains were drawn, so I couldn't get a good look inside, but the two young girls living together seemed like a pretty tough life. I think she tried that at first. She said it was hard because it reminded her of her parents. I had no idea. I feel really bad for them. They're normally so cheerful at school that I never realized even an atom of this. Rika-chan and Sadako-chan, they have it hard, huh? No kidding. She's cursed. What? Huh? Suddenly Mion said something in a really low voice that sounded like she was really cursing someone, and I didn't let it slide. I turned around the ladder to face her and asked her again, Mion, what did you just say? I said she's cursed. Mion, just holding the ladder, brought her head up and looked me in the eyes. As soon as our eyes met, an absolute zero jolt of electricity surged through my body. Mion's eyes had clouded over, within them boiled and bubbled a stew of chaos. They whirled around and around like a raging sea. Bubbles floated to the surface. I at some point become trapped on this ladder, like I'm being cornered on the dead end street. Me on you? Why are you making that face? I intend to follow that up with "You're going too far with this joke," and gave her a forced smile. However, on such uneven footing I was in, the only thing that came out of my mouth was a hoarse groan as I desperately struggled not to let nausea overwhelm me. Sadako Hojo. She's been cursed by Oyashiro-sama. Mion's answers with a response to something I never asked, as if replying to somebody else's question. The only people who fell from the park observation platform were her parents. Only her parents, who treated her like dirt, died that day. She was the only one to survive. Then she was sent to live with her aunt, who treated her cruelly, and that aunt was killed on the night of Watanagashi by some deviant, who beat her to death. So violently her brains were everywhere, and her head was an entirely different shape by the end of it. Then Satoshi-kun, who always protected her, he suddenly disappeared on her birthday. Someone made him disappear, even though he wasn't abusing her. The police judged him to have run away from home, but Sadashikun wasn't that kind of person who would do that. He was always earnest. He would never ask for anyone else's help. He'd always drag himself through everything with a hard work alone. He worked so hard he nearly ground his bones into dust, all for his one and only little sister, and yet somehow one made him disappear. She was the only thing he had lived for, yet someone made him disappear. Poor Satoshi-kun. He was never rewarded, that Satoshi-kun. How ungrateful that child is. She is cursed. All who get near her suffer the same fate. The curse kills them, or the curse makes them disappear. She cannot have any relief. She cannot have any relief. It's probably Sadako's fault that Rika-chan disappeared too. It has to. It has to be. It has to be. It has to be. It has to be. This goes on for a freaking while. It has to be. It has to be. Nah, I'm going crazy. Mion was mumbling words over and over that were no longer coherent. Her shoulders were trembling so hard I could feel it through the damn ladder. I almost lost my footing, which made me realize how far away the ground really was. Calm down, Mion. I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't sure she even heard me. Mion rocked back and forth, and that rocking and trembling became even more violent. Help me! The ladder, it's falling! Help me! Oh, goody. I get to say it again. Just then I heard the sound of many people rushing towards us. Hey, over here, I nearly said help me outright. 4 or 5 adults led by Rena ran over here with the flashlights. Katie-kun? Me-chan? I'm sorry it took so long. I borrowed the key. Oh, nice one. It seems like all the windows and doors are perfectly sealed. I was getting worried. When I heard Mion talking like it had nothing happened, I felt a chill run through me. What the fuck, Mion? The person currently holding the ladder in place was definitely Mion. It was the real Mion Shimazaki. Then the person muttering themselves just a few seconds ago, who was that? The person mumbling about terrible things like curses, who was that? I jumped down from the ladder as if running away before Mion turned it into that person who wasn't Mion a second ago. The adults tried a few different keys on the keyring as they tried to open the big shutter on the first floor. Rika-chan's house used to be a disaster shelter for town council, so the key to the shutters was still kept in the mayor's house. It's Rika-chan and Chako-chan's private residence now, though. Well, this is on Rika-chan's property anyway. Nobody complains about it. Mion gave me a smile as she said that. I, however, could only return her gaze with an aghast expression. Mion was acting all too normal now, but that only contrasted with the more sharply with her earlier un-Mion-like creepiness. Bang, bang, clatter, 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 bang. Bang, bing, bang, boom, boom. The shatter opened up for the first time in a very long time. Brenda located the light switch and wasted no time going inside. I followed her in. Rika-chan! Sadako-chan! If you're here, say something, please, with the love of Shiro-sama. We climbed in the narrow staircase. It looked like nothing more than a warehouse, but now that I was inside, I could feel how lived in this was. It was a person's home. Somehow the scent of the two of them filled the place. This was definitely where Rika-chan and Sadako lived. The first floor doubled as a town assembly warehouse, but the second floor was space entirely for living. Just like the one apartment past the kitchen was the living room, taking up about 150 square feet. Dressers, cupboards, and the like were packed in the space. In the corner, there was a huge pile of clothes that appeared to have been taken from the drying outside. Center of the room was a fold-up table, and on it were small containers of things like soy sauce and salad dressings. The sense of frugal lifestyle drifted from all over it. Tongue-tied. It was strange that they weren't here in the middle of the night like this. The adults climbed the stairs one at a time, began to make a fuss and talk amongst themselves. So, not here? Yeah, they're not here. This is definitely weird. The village should have been thrown into chaos yesterday because of the mayor's disappearance. Then today, even Rika-chan and Sadako had. Were they out playing somewhere together? That's very unlikely. That can't be. Their bicycles aren't here, though. Where'd they gone late at night? Have they not come back yet? Where'd they go? The adults put forth various possibilities, and the house immediately devolved into a state of confusion. Eventually, Mion settled them down. I don't want to believe it, but the mayor, Kimiyoshi, disappeared yesterday. We can't say this is unrelated. The adults' faces paled at Mion's declaration. Mine and Rena's too did as well. Let's see, they could have gone nearby for some tea or something, then accidentally fallen asleep. Or invited them, and it might just not be able to wake them up at all, too. That let's eliminate that possibility first. Makino, please go around to the house near the stream. Kentaro-san, go look near Ojo Lake. Okamura-san, you... Mion promptly gave directions to the villagers. The adults followed them without hesitation despite her age. We'll remain here and call anyone we think of on the phone. Okay, everyone, you have your orders. Got it. The adults all roared in reply and bounded back down the stairs below. Wow, Mi-chan, you're definitely not a chairperson of the school, but Hinozawa? Not only the chairperson of Hinozawa school, her school and Hinozawa too. No time for jokes. Hey, step aside. This old man is using the phone. Mion grinned proudly. She took the receiver and got started. Rena gave Mion a trusting look, considering her dependable for doing all of this. My feelings, though, were a little more complicated since her leadership seemed to affirm that the Sonozaki family's success impression that Shion and Noishi-san had given me. Stop right there, KT Mabara. None of that matters right now. The most important thing is to make sure Rika-chan and Sadako are safe. Let's see. Couldn't there be a clue at where they have gone somewhere in this room? Still, though, I wouldn't know what to look for anyway. If I tore the whole place apart, figuring out what was different from before, I might be able to speculate, but there's nothing strange about this room. There are no clues in sight. In the first place, I'd never been here before. There's no way for me to know what was different if I didn't know how the room normally looked. Hey, don't give up, KT Mabara. Stop thinking and start looking. For some reason, for something in search of something, I tried pulling open the dressers and open windows. I didn't cover anything meaningful, though. Rena, unable to stand around doing nothing, was looking around the room like I was. Rena, I don't think you'll find Rika-chan by opening the refrigerator or the cabinets underneath the sink. I just thought they might be hiding. As we were searching, it got noisy again outside. Villagers were quickly assembling here, having heard the commotion. Of course, a lot of them were probably people Neon had called. I'll go to tell everyone what's going on. The police will be here sooner or later, too. We'll need to explain the situation to Oishi. Neon began descending the stairs, and we followed her out of the front house. Geez, guys, what happened to Rika and Sadako? There were around 10 adults there, but all of them looked uneasy. I suddenly noticed the old people from the shrine were here as well, and they were praying for Rika-chan's safety, rubbing their prayer beads. This had gotten bad. This wasn't just a problem between my friends and mine. Crap. Where is the log so I can read that part I missed? Rubbing their beads. This has gotten bad. This wasn't a problem between friends anymore. Mion-chan, is it true that Rika-chan and Sadako-chan aren't anywhere to be found? The villagers all formed a ring around Mion, swarming her. Mion raised her right hand as if silently telling them to calm down. First off, let's check every house according to the town council notification division and see if they're visiting anyone. After all, they could be fast asleep at someone else's house and to learn where we're looking for them. This would definitely be hard for someone to wake up Rika-chan if she's eaten a good full meal and fallen asleep like a kitten afterwards. Oh, how nice it would be if that were just the case. I don't want to think about this, but it's also possible that something bad has happened. Leon's face grew remarkably more grim, and a wave of silence washed over the adults. We should divide the work up too. Look around all the places we went last night and look for everyone looking for the mayor. We'll go look around the dam construction site as well as best we can. You guys go search around the school. Right. Let's get a move on. Come on, let's go. All of you were up all night looking for the mayor. I know you're all low on sleep, but please do your best. Got it. With that, their signal, the adults scattered in every direction. I figured I should scatter somewhere as well, so I started walking steadily in a direction no one else had gone. Uh-oh. I was getting farther and farther from people. I didn't feel scared or anything, though. If someone were to make disappear, she and I should be first. That it would have been perfectly normal for me to just be scared of the dark. However, I didn't feel that way. Why was that? Because tonight someone had already disappeared. So nobody else would disappear tonight. It would take some time before I, exhausted as I was, would feel guilt at the cause of my own selfish sense of relief. Oof. Suddenly my vision cleared and the cold wind caressed my body. This was the hill from which I could see the whole village. Looking down from the hill, I could see the lights here and there, and knew the entire village had woken from its slumber. First Takano-san and Tomotaki-san, then the mayor, and now even Rika-chan and Sadako had been sacrificed. Word of it was spreading everywhere. The strength in my knees left me. This could no longer be a joke. We could have found them. Mion would have told me I was a worrywart, and Rena would have just been glad we did. And would have smiled at me. My hopes disappeared as if I were awakened from a dream. That's what the view I could see was telling me. Following my knees, my arms both bent backwards onto the ground, and I clawed at it with my nails. I couldn't figure out if I was feeling sorrow or frustration. Ugh, is this my fault? I couldn't endure the burden of my own sin, and had just told Rika-chan about it. They had nothing to do with it, but Rika-chan and even Sadako had been sacrificed. It's like a cross that she and I would each have to bear the weight until we ourselves were erased. Well, if I'm going to go that far, then the problem started long before that. My original sin of breaking the taboo and entering the ritual storehouse without asking. I knew I shouldn't have gone in there from the start, yet I lost out to cheap curiosity. I hadn't felt so angry at myself until it was the very moment. There was a crunching sound. I wasn't interested in who was making that sound, despondent as I was. Keiichi-kun? Keiichi-kun, are you okay? It was Rena. As I climbed the ground, made it looked like I was having stomach pains. She ran over and rubbed my back like she was trying to make me feel better. This is all my fault. It's all because of me. It's my fault. Keiichi-kun's fault? He didn't do anything wrong. Please don't blame yourself for this. I could tell Rena was doing her best to choose the right words out of consideration for me. That's why I could sense her intent behind the words. Keiichi-kun, you know why Rika-chan and Sadako disappeared, don't you? Is what she really meant to say, because it was an emergency. Rena had ignored the reason why I would make sure Rika-chan was safe, but now that we'd actually confirmed her disappearance, it was only natural that Rena would start to wonder about the why. However, with the situation having gone this far, I couldn't possibly tell her right now. I don't want to admit that Rika-chan and Sadako had disappeared. I couldn't let Rena disappear either. Keiichi-kun? You stay out here in the wind, we'll catch a cold. Rena sat down, bringing her eyes level with me. They told us that children should go back to the home and sleep. Rena showed me her watch as she said that. It was long past 1 in the morning. Time was passing too quickly. Had I been crawling around here for that long? Damn, whoever's playing that piano is amazing at it. If you don't sleep soon, you will have trouble getting up for school in the morning. Even the adults are really worn out since they were up searching for the mayor last night, too. They're saying that they'd break up earlier tonight. I was a little upset they weren't allotted as much time as to this as they searched for the mayor last night, but that was something I, the cause of everything, had no right to criticize them for. It's all right. The police arrived a little while ago. Looks like there's police cars coming into the village right now. Hearing that remark, I looked down at the village to see there were indeed more cars than one would normally expect at this hour, coming from the darkness on the other side of the mountain. However, none of their emergency lights were on. Of course, their sirens weren't wailing either. That's right. All of the incidents that occur right after Watanagashi are seen as a product of Orishiro-sama's curse and would be handled in secrecy. Rika-chan and Sadako-chan, too, their disappearance would end up exactly like the other serial incidents in the past. Surreptitiously, unresolved, declared a mystery, and disappear from memory. Rika-chan's face, her sweet face like a Western doll's, would fade away. Sadako's smile, her energetic, faint smile, would fade away. The more I tried to remember them, the less I'd be able to. I deserved to be called an idiot over a dozen times over, and it wouldn't be enough. I couldn't hold back the tears of my own sheer stupidity. I don't know why you're blaming yourself, Casey-kun, but you should stop. I wasn't about to deny it. I couldn't. Even so, I couldn't affirm it either. I wanted at least to keep Ren out of this. If she found out, she would become involved. Please, Rena, could you just leave me alone? Even if I went home, I wouldn't be able to sleep. If I couldn't get to sleep, then I at least wanted to search for Rika-chan and Sadako-chan until I collapsed. The entire village was looking, yet they still haven't found anything. I don't think I'd be able to find them even if I went alone at this point. Still had to do it, though. They disappeared because of me. I couldn't possibly go to sleep while other people were out there searching. I said that to myself in self-deprecation, but I soon realized that Rena silently was trying to find the meaning in my mumbling. I realized I'd misspoken. It's Keiichi-kun's fault. Why do you think that? Why? It can't be. Keiichi-kun, you're not at fault. I was happy that Rena said these things to me, but she only did it because she didn't know the truth. If she knew everything that had caused me by my breaking the taboo on the night of Watanagashi, then even Rena would curse my existence. However, I can't even allow for those curses. That means confessing my own crimes to Rena. If I spilled even one word of snuck into the ritual storehouse on the night of Watanagashi, then even Rena would disappear tomorrow night. The gentle, spirited, always joking, always howling at the time like this, the most dependable person in the world, Rena might disappear. I don't want that. Anything but that. This time I need to bear my own cross, alone. Keiichi-kun, I know you always have your friends in your heart. I can really understand feeling like you want to kick yourself. Rena knows that. It's not the Keiichi-kun's fault. You didn't do anything wrong, Keiichi-kun, and I know that. You know that? The shivering in my veins rushed up my back, and replaced the sorrow in my heart with fear. I didn't tell her anything, did I? Maybe I accidentally said something that caused Rena to figure it out. This is bad. Now Rena would disappear. Rena will disappear. Rena will disappear. Then Rena, the same way I did. grabbed my head and began patting it roughly. Chichi-kun, are you thinking that Rena might disappear now too? Because she was cursed? She put more force into the hand rubbing my head. You don't need to worry about that. Ren isn't going anywhere. I promise. Why, how can you say that with such confidence? I mean, someone's been sacrificed every night so far. There's no proof it wouldn't happen again tomorrow night. Then even less proof after that the sacrifice wouldn't be Rena. I don't care who you are. Just please, if you're going to race someone, race me first. Please stop cruelly getting people we're close to, like the mayor for Shion and Rika and Sadako for me. Shion's hysterical shouting came back to mind. They must have planned to kill us last after all. They're not killing the first person who came into mind, they started killing those who we're close to. Then after that cause as much pain as they'll kill us. That must be what they're doing. Rena, please don't disappear. Please don't. As long as I'm still here, I could no longer conceal the sobs welling up within me. Come on, Katie, crying doesn't suit you. Let's go back to the others. Housewives are cooking some miso soup for us. It'll warm up and calm you down. Greta promptly to stand. I didn't have the energy to oppose her, so I stood as she had urged me to. We returned to the shrine grounds and had several gas stoves there with miso soup in the pots. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, probably because I missed my daily soda. We returned to the shrine grounds and found several gas stoves there with miso soup in big pots. Many villagers were there sipping at soup as they were given in dead stony silence. Their expressions were absolutely exhausted. Everyone just run around the village until a little while ago. The dreary looks on their faces to the assume they haven't come up with anything yet. Kate-chan, where did you go? I was worried you disappeared too. Sorry. Leon held out some miso soup for me, but I refused the offer. I didn't have much of an appetite. Lee-chan, how is it? Did you find any clues? Beyond took a sip of her soup and her expression frank. None at all. School ended, they went home. Then the two of them went somewhere on their bicycles. However, nobody ever saw them riding their bikes, so um why is she lying? Like the bikes were still at the wait, were they? I'm not sure. Huh. When it gets dark in Inuzawa, people quickly vanish off from the streets. Aside from adults going home from town in cars or bicycles, it's normal to see absolutely nobody walking around outside. It wasn't all that strange that nobody's seen Rika-chan and Sadako-chan riding their bikes. It was the same last night with the mayor. There's no hope. Neon's apathetic tone pricked my nerves, but that anger quickly subsided. She was doing all sorts of things trying to find Rika-chan until a second ago. I asked her, she probably said she was up last night too looking for the mayor. Wouldn't she? She must have been far more fatigued than I was. Besides, what about me? I had spent the whole time hunched over in indecision all alone. I had no right to say anything about Neon. K-chan, I know it's hard, but let's turn in for the night. We decided to break out the search for now. Drink this, let's call it quits. Is this the end? Oh no, of course not. Once it's bright outside, we'll do a thorough search with police's help. They could have got to Okinawa too. People are even saying we should go through all of Shishibone City investigating whether or not any of the witnesses for both girls and the mayor. Anyway, what happened, Kei-chan? Oh look, an angry Mion disappeared. Where did you get off to? You vanished all of a sudden. I was really worried. Suddenly I was on the receiving end and I didn't have the willpower to respond. Sorry, I'll be a bit more careful. Nothing happened? There wasn't anyone suspicious spying or stalking you? Nothing at all? Mion demanded with a serious expression. I was being criticized for how inconsiderate I had been. Despite being in so much pain, I was frustrated I was being criticized, but it was my sin. My sin I must bear alone. Nothing? I'll be careful either way. Sorry. Mia, now aware that nothing's happened, heaved a big sigh with her shoulders and looked relieved. Oh my, I knew I smelled something good coming over here. I must be obliged if you allowed me to have some. I heard the repulsive voice of a fat man. It was Oishi-san, trailed by a handful of police officers. He was acting energetically, in a way unfitting given the circumstances and situation. There's not much left, but you can have some if you want. Mion didn't like Oishi-san very much. Her cold attitude, though, didn't seem to bother Oishi-san in the slightest. It was like splashing water in a frog's face. Well, no. Miso soup leftovers are a bit too much salt for my taste. Confounded. Would you all like any? Recommended to his subordinates, but everyone gave a dry smile as he refused. So have the police gotten hold of any clues? Brenna's smile was warm enough to replace the miso soup. Don't worry, little missy. Everything is fine. We're searching for the real good. Doof, woof, 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 woof. Said any words about having found any new clues. In other words, there was no progress. Sure was an annoying way of beating around the bush. In any case, it really has gotten late. All of you youngsters should get home and get some sleep. It'll be bad for your health otherwise. Yeah, Kitty-chan, Rena-chan, go get some rest. These guys gotta get our tax money. They'll handle it from here for us. We're taxpayers too, you know. It's like we're drinking our own piss. I really wasn't in the mood for laughter. Oishi-san was the only one laughing like an idiot. He kind of has to, considering his job. Okay, seriously, but please do your best. Let's go home, Keiichi-kun. It'll be harder to wake up tomorrow if we don't. Yeah, that's right. I can always bring you home if you need to. Kumar-chan, why don't you bring your car around? No thanks. We'll come on our bicycles, so no need to worry. We came in a truck. We'll just throw the bikes in the back. We may have gotten pretty sleep, but we just need a ride home at this point. I don't want to bother the police like that. Brenna, however, nodded. Okay, if you insist, we'll appreciate it. It's probably safer than if we went back alone. I thought about it carefully. I realized that Brenna's idea was extremely rational. Now that it's decided, let's move on, shall we? Okay, bye. Good night. Brenna-chan, Kei-chan. Yeah, me-chan, you go to bed soon too, okay? Good night. I waved my hand as well, saying goodbye. Rika-chan and Sadako-chan still haven't been found. My unease, however, was steadily being pushed away by sleepiness. Brenda showed police where our bikes were so that the Oishi-san could haul them into their truck. He promised us to get back into the back seat. I could hear springs squeaking as we sat down, on a seat that would normally hurt my rear end. At this point, it was very soft and much more comfortable enough for me to fall asleep in. Ladies first, we'll start with the little Mrs. house. Where do you live? Thank you, my house as well. And so that happened. Brenna's voice slowly grew distant. I felt myself being sucked into the void of sleep. Hello, Mayabara-san. Are you asleep back there? Huh? When I came to, it was quiet. The car was parked. Oishi-san gave me a light slap on the cheek. Didn't feel good, so I woke up immediately. Sorry, I just fell asleep. Something was being held right under my nose. A clump of metal. It was a can of coffee. It's lukewarm by now. But coffee au latte is good even at room temperature. Oh, thanks. I mechanically took the can and opened the top. The feeling of the warm, sweet liquid going down my throat awakened my sleepy mind. When my drowsiness receded, I started wanting to know why the car had stopped and why I was offered a coffee. Oishi-san had been the driver's seat, had at some point moved to the back. Oh boy. Suddenly I had a very bad feeling about it. I was reminded of a questioning yesterday at the library. It was already too late by the time I realized I'd made a mistake. Today, of all days, it didn't look like I would be getting away. I had a feeling that until Oishi-san heard what he wanted, he wouldn't be letting me go. No, please don't get all formal on me. I'm just not going to eat you or anything. Maibara-san. Oishi-san gulped down the last of his coffee, then stretched them wide, showing me how relaxed he was. That, however, only served to heighten my nervousness. But what do you need from me? Need? Oh, no, nothing, really. You're going to evade the question at this point. What a deeply unreadable man. Well, I don't need you for anything. I just thought you might need something from me, Maibara-san. I don't... I don't need anything. Oh, I see. Really? Are you sure there's nothing? No, foo. There's only one side door in the back seat of this truck. In other words, my only exit was blocked off by a Oishi-san. I couldn't get away. I could only limply hang my head and maintain my silence. Oishi-san, despite my reticence, relaxed and began to smoke a cigarette. The cries of the insects outside seemed to be growing longer and longer to an amount of time that almost seemed infinite. Here I was sure that you'd had something you want to talk to me about. Oishi-san exhaled a puff of smoke. The windows were open, but the pack of smoke still accumulated inside the vehicle. How much did Oishi-san know? What did he know, and what did he want to hear from me? Finding out the truth made me disappear, and then if I told him, Oishi-san would disappear too. I had a feeling I didn't need to worry about that in his case. I was wondering how it all happened. I wonder, I wonder how all of this ended up happening. Oishi-san addressed me in a low tone as if he was talking to himself. All of this ended up happening. How the hell should I know? That was what I wanted to know. You know Chiro Tomitake and Mio Takano-san, right? I know you do, because I personally witnessed you with them during the festival along with Shion Sonozaki. Do you know how Tomitake-san and Takano-san are doing right now? They actually passed away. They met very untimely deaths. Oishi-san's probably played that card in order to surprise me, however, I knew and didn't display the extreme reaction he expected. What's this? You already know. Unfortunately for this question in particular, being silent is the equivalent of saying yes. So then, did you also know the reason Tomitake-san and Takano-san were cursed like that? People are saying that apparently they went into some forbidden building, the storehouse for their ritual implements. That forbidden shed, sealing away Hinazawa's bloodstained past, where the mistakes that started it all happened. Do you know about the rumors that they say the mayor and Rika Furude were cursed because of that too? That would mean that it was mine and Shion's fault. He was right, as soon as we revealed that we did. What did they call it? A ritual storehouse? They're saying it was bad luck. The lock to it had been replaced by a simpler one, which made it easier for thieves to get inside. What? This is news to me. Until last year, it apparently had these big bars and a huge padlock on it. I mean, ever since the priest and his wife passed, Rika Furude-san has been managing the place, right? Apparently she talked to the mayor saying it wanted them to replace it with a lighter, more simple padlock because the bars are too heavy for her. I didn't know anything about those big bars he was talking about. The lock certainly had been a simple one. It was a pretty cheap one, too. It didn't really fit my impression of what a lock for a place you'd store something as important as ritual implements would look like. Rika-chanza is a small girl, after all. The bars were heavy with rust, and they must have caused her a lot of trouble. So the mayor hired a craftsman to replace the bars with a simple padlock so she could open it with a key. So how does that mean it was bad luck? Here's what I'm saying. The thieves couldn't get in with the old tight lock. The mayor and Rika-san replaced with a cheap lock and key of their own. so the thieves broke into it. Apparently that's how it's going down. That explanation's a bit. Letting that slide, certain members of the village delivered punishment upon the thieves who stole into the ritual storehouse, as well as the mayor and Rika-san who changed the locks. At least those are the whispers that seem to be going around. Mabara-san, what do you think? What do I think? I don't really know what you mean by certain members of the village. Are you familiar with the three families? Representatives from each of them gave short addresses at the Watanagashi Festival's opening ceremony. Did you see them? I came partway through the festival, so I don't know really. The three families are the oldest families in Hinazawa. To give the actual names, the Kimiyoshi family, the Samazaki family, and the Furude family. They each have quite the lineage, it seems. Lungo said that everything in the village was decided by the council of the three families. Kiyoshi family, old man Kimiyoshi, meaning the mayor's family. Samazaki's family was Mion's. So Furude family would be Rika-chan's family then. After the war, Samazaki family quickly expanded their influence. Practically speaking, after leading the fight against construction during the dam conflict, they jumped on top of the hierarchy of Hinazawa. You see, in the accordance with the old ways, they decided to do important village matters only after consulting with the three families. That's why the three families each have their own address at the start of the Watanagashi. In other words, the mayor, the old lady currently in charge of the Sonagaki family, and the last remaining member of the Furude family is Rika-san. I heard the Sonozaki family was pretty higher up, so Rika-chan's family was just as old. Well, as you're aware, she has no relatives at all. In reality, the Furude family holds pretty much no influence. However, it seems like people gravitate towards Rika-san on a personal level, and I hear that many of the villagers' elderly have blind faith in her. It was certainly true that Rika-chan had an odd sort of charisma among the elderly. So what are you telling me about all this three family stuff? Oishi-san paused for emphasis, lighting another cigarette. I've explained a lot, but I suppose it's still not enough. I'm asking because I don't understand. Oishi gave me this dry, meaningful grin and blew out another puff of smoke. Members of the free family are disappearing one after another. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it seems kind of sus that, if the three families were responsible for the disappearances, why are members of the three families the ones vanishing? That's weird. That is sus. I've read it on the basis on some kind of old tradition inherited in Misawa. I don't know much beyond that. I don't know anything about it either. That's why I'm asking. The leaders of the Kobayashi and Furude family have disappeared, so maybe the leader of the Shinzaki family will disappear next. Well, it's just a random idea bouncing around my head at the moment. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding, really. The leader of the Sonozaki family, who is it? The current leader is the old lady of the main house. It wouldn't be incorrect to say that practically all rights of leadership have been transferred to her granddaughter, Mion-san. In the visage of Neon giving prompt directions to the adults while searching Rika's child sprung back to mind. Mion? She's gonna disappear? I hadn't even thought of that possibility. All my hair stood on end. That's insane! Nobody wants that, right? Of course not. We can't allow that. Climb. Oishi-san grabbed my shoulders with both hands. Then help us, Mabara-san. If there's anything you've noticed about Nozaki lately, please tell us. I was going along with them. By the time I realized it was too late. Oishi-san had brought his face in closer, almost close enough to ram into me, waiting for my next words. This pressure, I can't tear my eyes away from his. That moment, I heard a beeping sound. It was from the driver's seat. He ignored it first, and it started bothering him, so he finally let go of me and leaned over the driver's seat. Hello? Yep, loud and clear. I was saved. Of course, it's not like I could escape through the opening. I see. Yes, all right, I'll head back then. Yes? Okay. Apparently he was being recalled. Now that I knew I'd be free, the tension in my body dissipated all at once. Looks like I need to get going. We were just getting to the good part, too. That's too bad. Oishi-san flung the door open and exited and walked around the front door to the driver's seat. He left the door open. Does that mean I could leave? I care about your friends, Mabara-san, and an admirable trait for a kid to have that this day and age. I totally understand that it feels like you betrayed them if you told the police anything. Mabara-san, it's the middle of the night, so get a good night's sleep, then think about it. Just a little bit of courage from what might end up being what saves many of your friends in the end. Do you want to say that sacrifices wouldn't stop with Rika-chan and Sadako? You know this already, but every night since Watanagashi, something's happened. In the past, the first only occurred once per year, but this time it's been going on for days. What a prosperous year this has been. I don't think you can call that prosperous. The night before last, last night, and now today. There's no proof that it won't happen tomorrow night as well. It's our job to prevent such things before they happen, of course, but for that we need your cooperation, my Bar-san. I looked out of the open door to see none other than my own house right in front of me. It creeped me out that he knew my name and address, but I was too sleepy right now. I was too sleepy to care. Oh, you're probably tired. It's already 3 in the morning. Please get yourself a good sleep. Good rest. Yes, sir, I'll be going now. Bye. When I was about to get out of the truck as if to deliver a parting blow, when she sounded in a raised voice. I'll be coming by every day until you feel like talking, okay? I don't believe forcing you into a finesse in an interrogation room is really in fashion these days. I couldn't say anything in response, but me slamming the door probably served the same purpose. After lightly bleeping the horn, Wishy-san's truck drove off. I went to the front door without waving goodbye. The door was locked, the chain wasn't up. I unlocked the door and entered, then walked over to the staircase. That was when I lost consciousness. Yay! New tips. Oh boy, these look. I'm gonna save right here. And then we are gonna call it a stream because I haven't had supper yet and I need to eat something. Then maybe we'll continue off from where we left off.